Hello, Leo. Thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Thelema Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the support of Oracle cards, I'm using the Magical Spell Oracle cards by Lucy Cavendish. Okay, already shuffled. Let's see what we got. Alright, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this works out very well for you. I feel like, before I get too far into this, my first impression is this is actually a good situation that goes very well, but I feel like you might not see it that way until you actually get to the end result. Now, the situation as you're coming into it is the Eight of Swords. I don't feel like it's really a bad situation, but I do feel like it's a situation that you feel like you're kind of trapped in, like you can't get out of it. It's not a bad situation, but you're feeling like you have no choice but to be a part of it. And I feel like this is becoming more of an issue as time goes on. You're just kind of feeling like you're forced to be a part of something that you don't really have the leeway to get out of, at least not as much as you'd like to have that leeway. It's just not that easy. Now, on your side, I do see the Divine Guidance card here, which is making me feel very much like one of the reasons you're feeling trapped in this situation is because you're feeling like you need to be there, like it's important for you to be there. Whatever the situation is, you're feeling like it's the right thing for you to do to stay a part of it. But I still feel like you're kind of like, it's more like you have no choice. I don't even know if you want out of it as much as you just feel like you don't have the ability to get out of it. And I feel like that's aggravating. Whether you want out of it or not, some days maybe not so much. But the fact that you feel held to it, stuck to it, I don't feel like you like that. What's coming in next, I've noticed this feels like the kicker, what's pushing this next card. The Judgment card. The Judgment card is telling me the situation you're a part of, there's something that's kind of changing here. And I don't feel like it's expected. It feels more out of the blue, to be fair. Because this pops in the environment, Judgment comes in, situation is about to change. And when you see that happening, the Ace of Wands shows up in the action line, and I feel like that's the moment where you're seeing, like, hey, I'm not, like, I feel like this is the moment where you've become unbound to the situation. Something came in. It's kind of like, I don't know. It could be Judgment in your favor. It depends how you view it. But the Judgment is more about the situation is about to finish off, is what I'm getting. Something you felt very bound to, very tied to, like you couldn't get away from it. Like you felt it was the right thing for you to stay a part of it. Judgment came in and changed the whole, changed the whole situation. And not only are you seeing your way out of the situation, you're also seeing like there's really not a choice. The situation's going to end. So you're not going to be bound to it anymore. But there's more here. You're not bound to the situation, but you don't really have a choice to stay involved with it either. And I don't know. See, that's weird. It's almost like you went from feeling stuck, like you couldn't leave, and not really liking that, to going from like the situation is finishing off and you really can't stop it from finishing off, and you're like, well, now I have to move on, so there you go. I don't feel like you have a lot of control in this, other than the Ace of Wands in the center here, in the action line, is Judgment is causing the situation to change. Now, you see this coming in. I feel you accepting that you're going to have to change. You're accepting it fairly quickly, as in the sense of like, this has to happen, there's really nothing else to do about it, you just got to kind of go forward with it. I don't feel like you're fighting it, but there's a lot of momentum behind this where you used to feel tied to the situation. The freeness of that, I feel like I feel like you're okay because you don't feel so tied to something that you just don't like feeling the restriction. So now that the restriction is gone, you're kind of embracing like what's coming forth next, and you're kind of feeling very optimistic about, you know what, I'll handle this when it comes. It'll be fine. I'll go forward to the next situation. And then the world is in the action line. The situation, this phase of this, like, it's done. The situation is done. Whatever you were bound to before, you're no longer bound to because the situation has completed. It's just, it's very, like, that's very cut and dry, that one. Just done. Finished. That's that. Now, when that situation ends, and it's done, it's just, I just feel like that's just all you can say about it. It's like, it's just done. Your side has the Chariot with the Five of Swords. You're out there going on to something else. You're going on to something else, but I'm noticing that Five of Swords kind of like, it's almost like you're going to get bound to, you're afraid you're going to get bound to something else. And you're kind of like, I guess this is just how it goes. I mean, I get to choose now what I get bound to this next time around, but I just feel like the Five of Swords is kind of like, well, I got out of that situation, but I'm going to end up bound to something else. Like, this is just how my life goes. So you're out there searching for something else, but you're kind of like, I feel like I'm going to end up in the same boat that I already was in, but I feel like that's what I need to do. And as you're searching something out, I feel like you're finding reluctant, there we go, reluctant connections. And I feel why that's coming through that way is that the Four of Cups is saying there's possibilities here, but I don't feel like you're overly excited because there's good possibilities, but you're kind of like, I'm going to end up where I was, and it's almost kind of like I really have to go forward. It's time for me to do that, but and this is when you find that the right time to go forward, whatever that means. There's good opportunities there, but you're kind of like, I don't want to end up in the same place I was already, because it seems like it's happening fairly quickly. And I'm getting in the action line here is the confidence. I feel like you're worried that you're going to end up in the same boat that you were already in, and you're like, I don't want to do that, at least not right away. I know that's how life goes. I feel like this is the argument you're having with yourself. Like, life goes like this, I get that, but I just got out of that one situation. I don't want to go into another one the same way. I feel burnt out from the last one still. And the confidence is saying just to realize it doesn't have to be the same as it was before, although it might be hard to see it at the time. Because I feel like there's opportunities around you, but you're just kind of like, I'm going to end up just back in the same type of situation again. And I know that's how life goes, but I'm not really overly excited about it. Now, this is the kicker. Where this is actually going to end up is the Ace of Cups. You're going to connect into something else, but it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot better fit for you, and you're going to like it a lot more. There may be a bit of obligation or responsibility that ties you to the situation. I don't feel, it doesn't seem like the last situation, though. Like the last one, it feels like it got very boring, very humdrum, the same thing over and over and over again. This new situation feels like it has more fluidity, more random feelings, random situations. There's more life to this where there's things that are different here and there now and then, and it's just a little bit more like, what do I need to do today going on? Like almost, if it's not every day, it's every week there's something different that you have to tackle, which keeps you on your toes, which seems to be something you thrive on. I feel like you feel a lot better with this. There's still that element of responsibility and being tied to something, but the fact that it's more of like what's going on today or what's going on this week, it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you distracted from feeling that way, and you're more about like the diversity of what you have to deal with. I feel like this is ending up a lot better than you expect because of the way the situation plays out. There's a lot more, it feels a lot more random. It still has its element of responsibility and being tied to it, but there's something about it that makes it just more like what's going on today or what's going on this week, and it just keeps you on your toes. It keeps the life in it for you. It keeps you happy. Is that good? All right, so this, I feel like this is ending better. I feel like this is going to go a place that's a lot better for you. it's just one of those things, like, this reading feels like it's just, it doesn't really get good till you're actually at that spot, and when you're there, I feel like that's when you're happy, like, oh, you know, this worked out better than I really thought was possible for me. That's kind of how it feels. So I feel like it's a good ending. It feels like it goes well to me. All right, I think we're done. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.